Hello, everybody. Well, guess what? We have a category 3. Didn't I say so? Didn't I? Just 2 hours ago. Yes, it is back up to category 3. Winds 114 or 115. Pressure dropped a little bit more. 955. Moving north at 7. So it slowed down 1 mile per hour, and it went from north-northwest to north. So, and as I was, you can see here behind me here on the fake monitor, look at those dark colors in there. Getting stronger. Thanks, Molly. Now, as I was saying 2 hours ago, when I see those dark colors getting better looking and better looking going around that eye, then I know it's getting stronger. And the eye has been so sweet looking for the last several hours. But I just knew it was going to go to Cat 3. Now, will it make it Cat 4? I seriously don't think so. I think it's on the verge of making that real nice right turn. We hope it does. And hello, everybody's just joining me. And once it starts making that turn, it's going to start slowing down. And when it starts slowing down, it's going to weaken somewhat. So, and it is going to be moving into cooler waters as well, like I was talking about a couple hours ago. So, I think this is going to be the strongest that it's going to be. It might go up at 2 o'clock, maybe 1 or 2 more miles per hour, but I think this is just about it. But this is plenty strong enough. Cat 3 is a major hurricane, Cat 3 and above. So it's still a very dangerous hurricane, and it's still being related to Matthew because of the similar track. Now, are we going to have the damaging surges and floods that Matthew did? I think so. And I still think, as of the last model looks that I model runs, daggone, I can't talk, that it's still going to hit landfall. Now, it's still uncertain. And let's bring up the cone. This is the latest cone as of 11 o'clock. Now, like I've always been telling y'all, the center can go anywhere in that cone. So if it happens to drift a little west when it makes that turn, then Charlotte is in the risk area of getting hit. Or Charleston, excuse me, I said Charlotte. It's Charleston. And Myrtle Beach as well. Now, I have a real high confidence that it is going to make landfall in Cape Hatteras and the Outer Banks. I got a pretty high confidence in that already. Oh, she made it to Charleston? Cool. I hope she ain't nowhere near downtown. Oh, she's not there yet, quite yet. I see she's up there by the radar. I would be very careful since Charleston floods so damn easy. I mean, somebody sneezes real hard and that place floods. And the reason why, folks, if you didn't catch my last broadcast, is Charlotte sits down in a hole, and the ground all around it is up higher. So if they're going to get 7 to 10 inches of rain tonight and tomorrow, all that's going to run downhill towards the two rivers. There's a river on either side of Charleston. If you ever look at it on Google Maps, it's a really cool city. It's an old military battery from back 100 years ago. But then you got the Atlantic Ocean. Now, with this storm surge that's going to be happening, it's going to be pushing them waters in towards Charleston, which means all the water that's draining down into those two rivers there at Charleston are going to get shoved upriver, and it's just going to flood. High tide will be at around 1 in the morning. So here in a couple more hours, they'll be at high tide. Now let's take a look at the radar. Here's the radar. And you can see this eye. Now this is coming off the Charleston radar site. Well, my back's still killing me. The flu feels better. But let's go full screen here. This is off the Charleston radar site. And like I say, Charleston is it's right up here. That's Charleston there. Hey, thanks for the host. So the winds right now are starting to come out of the northeast, so it's already starting to push into that waterway there. And like I say, there is those two. Well, I don't want to turn all this. I'm looking at something else at the moment. See if I can zoom in on Charleston here on the map. Okay, let's transition over to the map. Constipation can happen all around us. And I'll zoom in on this. Yes, it's going to be very, very bad. They're calling for a possible storm surge of 6 to 8 feet here at Charleston. Now, if you look at this is the inland waterway into the Charleston Harbor. And then you got a river here, and you got a river here. And all this ground around Charleston is higher, so all the rain is going to try to drain into the harbor and these rivers. Down here is the battery, right there at the point. So with that storm surge of several feet, possibly 6 to 7 feet, it's not going to be quite as bad right now because the winds are coming more that direction. But when the winds later on, when this thing gets further north, the winds are going to start coming right into the harbor. And I have seen ground way up here at like North Charleston, which sits a little bit higher. I've seen this water back up these two rivers and just inundate all of that right in there. It's going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad. The heck of it is, it's happening in the wee hours of the morning. Like I say, high tide somewhere around 1 o'clock. So I'm not going to be able to bring up a webcam. I don't think I can find one that you can actually see the water. but it's going to get horrible tonight.
Currently in our area,
And
69 degrees under.
it's going to be quite a while before those winds start coming straight out of the east. But still, it's going to be bad tonight. It's going to be really bad. They are saying that if you had got flooded from Matthew, Irma, or anything in the last 5 years, you're going to get flooded. And by the way, there is mandatory evacuation for Charleston. I haven't heard yet about curfews, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is, because they did that 2 years ago and last year. But I have been getting information that there is mandatory evacuation. So if you're not down in Charleston, you're not going to get down there. Hey, Terry. So, Becky, you might want to let her know she might want to go ahead and head on up to Myrtle Beach after she checks that out. So again, here's the Charleston radar, which is actually not near Charleston. But you can see how these winds and these bands of rain are already coming in there. I hope it's at North Charleston. It should be. Would be somewhat higher ground. Yeah, I'd like to get a webcam that actually shows the harbor. And I know there is one, but I can't remember what it is. And to tell you the truth, you wouldn't be able to see anything this time of night. So that's what I have. Let's go ahead and put the information up for everybody just joining. It is now a Cat 3 at 11:21. This is the 11 o'clock update. It's Cat 3, winds up to 115 miles per hour from 110. And millibars has dropped a little bit more to 955, and now it's moving north. Now it did slow down from 8 to 7. It could be, like I say, when they go to make a right turn or a left turn, they will slow down. So that's 7 miles per hour down from 8 could be the beginning of it starting to make that right turn and start going along the coast to the northeast. This thing is so large, it's got so much mass that when it starts to turn, it will slow down. And a lot of times it'll start getting weaker. Right now, Weather Channel is talking about rainfall rates 3 inches plus per hour. So they're going to start feeling these tropical storm force winds. And I'm going to back out here on the radar. You know, the hurricane force winds are down here around the eye. And so that's quite a ways away from Charleston. There we are, full screen again. So the hurricane winds are quite a ways away yet. Now, earlier, yeah, go ahead and share the link, Southpaw. Um, I was saying earlier on my last broadcast a couple hours ago about this dry air. I think it looks like, because I'm noticing a lot more of these ran bands are starting to come on the shore and inland somewhat. Let's take a look at that, which means that the dry air is no longer holding it back. That's what's kind of been happening. Is it's had dry air over here on the left side, and that's kind of held that left side down to where the main rain bands has been along the coast. But as you can see, let me turn off satellite and bring up radar. Take a little bit to load up. I'm taking a look at these webcams, by the way. That's not what I want to see. But now here is the overall radar. Now, naturally, it's not going to show the right side of it because there's no radars out there. What this radar is a culmination of all the radar sites in that area. So it gives you a better view. It's not as high contrast, but still, you can see here the storm is starting to get a lot heavier around the eye. Come on, finish loading. Give it a few seconds. There we go. So the yellow's there around the eye. That's stronger thunderstorms. And as you can see here, especially around Savannah and on up, even Charleston, these outer bands are starting to go more inshore than what they was earlier. And let me switch this to water vapor, and you can see why. See all that brown off to the left? That's some super dry air, and it's been fighting with this thing and getting sucked up into the storm. But now, as you can see, these outer bands are pushing away the dry air. So the outer bands of the storm, not so much the rain, as you can see, because I got the radar turned on top of the satellite. But you can see these outer bands are clearing out that dry air. That's going to make the rain field push further inland. So that's going to make it even worse. So that's the water vapor satellite with the radar overlaid on top of it, so you can see. But the really dry air over here, these outer bands, one reason why they don't have rain in them is because of this dry air. But it's starting to push moisture across that. So that what that's going to end up doing is going to allow these rain bands to start pushing further inland. which is just going to make everything even worse. There's infrared with the radar turned on. So these super dark parts around the eye, that's really tall. What infrared does, it measures temperature. The taller the cloud, the colder it's going to be, and the infrared picks that up. So these really dark areas, those are really tall thunderstorms. Now, my processor's not using too awful much. Let's see if I can get this one website. We'll look for lightning. This is another place that I go to look at both the GOES East and West satellite. This is one way I can see visible satellite at nighttime. And it's got to load up the frames. But Charleston is going to be getting nailed definitely with tropical storm force winds, the storm surge, the high tide, and up to 10 inches of rain, possibly 3 or more inches per hour. Yeah, I can do 3D view here in a bit. Take a look, and I'll add the lightning on here. We'll see exactly where it's at. Now, I don't want to see lightning around the eye, and so far I'm not. Let me transition that over. Now I got it loaded. And why isn't it doing it? There we go. Now this is really pushing my processor, so it's going to be kind of jerky. When I start seeing a lot of lightning around the eye, that means it's getting ready to do a eye wall replacement, which when it goes through that cycle, it will weaken a little bit, but then it'll tend to get even stronger than what it was. So I don't want to see lightning around that eye. Not now. Too close to the coast. We don't want to see that. So all the lightning, according to this, is out here in these outer bands. So I'm going to get rid of that. Let my processor calm down a little bit. That was pushing 100% to play that. No, I didn't. What'd she say? What'd she say? It scrolled up my little window so fast I didn't see it. Oh, that's where she's at, is west of the Ashley River. Yeah, like I was showing you, go back to the radar. The eye is still far enough offshore. Let's do a measurement here. From the edge of the eye to the shore is about 65, 66 miles. And the last that I seen, the tropical storm force winds from the center of the eye was about 175 miles. So it's just that the winds haven't got there yet, depending on where you live from Charleston. And because this thing is still south of, the eye is about south of Charleston right now. Becky, did she get her capture card figured out? I know Brady was sending me a message asking about it. Yeah, okay. It depends, when this thing, like I say, you know, Charleston's up here. Let me bring this off of max 4 down to my max 1. Okay, so Charleston, I better do this in red, is up here. So, as you can see, these bands, the wind is coming from that direction right now. Now, as this thing gets further north, then the winds are going to start pushing directly into that harbor there at Charleston. Yeah, I don't know, Becky, that Jen's going to be able to get close down there now this late since they got that mandatory evacuation. They may not let anybody down in there, even with a press pass. But she could check it out. Daggone it. Freaking program. Go back here, and for some reason it wasn't showing. Oh, let's go back. Rewind. Okay, I'm going to pause it. Again, Charleston's up here. The winds are coming down like that direction. Up there at the top of your screen. Now, as this thing gets closer, then the winds are going to be coming straight into that harbor. That's when it's going to be bad. No one allowed on bridges are closed as of 10 p.m. and it's 11:35 Eastern time. As you can see the clock there at the top of the screen. So she's not going to be able to get down in there. She might be able to get close to one of those rivers. But tell you the truth, I remember when Kelly was down there a few years back, and it got really iffy. It was real iffy. Oh yeah, this is the Frying Pan Tower. That was the name of it. Doggone it, I've been trying to find this since last year, and I couldn't remember the name of it. Really can't see nothing right now, but this is really cool, and I forget the history on this. Thanks for that, Doc. Oh, we got brown bears and birds. What we got here? Okay, that's the same thing. Funny car. Yeah, this is really cool place. God, I gotta go back because I can't remember. It's not near the coast. It's out there, and back in the day, this would help guide ships around the shallows and the rocks. And then it's abandoned. But there is an outfit that has put a webcam out there, and also weather instruments. And I watched this thing last year, and you can't see nothing. Yeah, it's privately owned. Yeah, when it's when it's not being tore apart by a hurricane like it was last time. Yeah, it's a bed and breakfast. You can go out there and stay, but it was really messed up. I watched this thing. Pretty sure it was with Matthew last year or 26. No, let's see. What was that? That wasn't last year. That was Michael. It was a couple of years ago, anyway. There was a hurricane, and I was watching that webcam on that tower, and until it got wiped out. I mean, it totally got destroyed. It was a couple of years ago. It might have been Florence. I can't remember. Too many storms in my head. Yeah, it's 30 miles offshore. Now they have buoys out there that the ships use for guidance around the rocky shallows. But at one time, this tower was used for that. I don't think it was Matthew. Matthew was 2016. I got to reload this and bookmark this because I'm going to need this tomorrow. Okay, this is over on YouTube. Colunk. Sorry about that. This was really a sweet webcam that I used on one of my streams. I used to know the whole history, the how high it is, and all that stuff, but I can't remember no more. Okay, starting to get some pretty good waves there at nighttime. I will show this. I bookmarked that. I will show this. Yeah, that flag. Oh man, I sit there and watch this thing for hours and hours, and yeah, that flag was tore to shreds, man. Hey, thanks for the bits. Appreciate that. 80 foot tall. Okay. Thanks for reminding me, because I was getting ready to look it up. But yeah, that's the Frying Pan Tower. I'll bring this up more on my broadcast tomorrow, and I'll show the map where it's at and everything. That will be really cool when it gets up there by the Outer Banks. Because if I remember right, this is offshore of the Outer Banks. Isn't that where it's at, Crow? 30 miles out off the banks. I was trying to think of that last night, and I mentioned it in. I mean, this is one of those places that you can watch the hurricane just tear it up, and there ain't nobody out there. I guarantee you it's totally evacuated already, and nobody lives there. It's only a bed and breakfast. And so there's nobody out there. So that hurricane can hit that thing and it ain't gonna hurt nobody. All right, you have a good night. Well, I'm playing it right now, but what I did is I rewound the video. That's the one thing you can do with YouTube, even when it's live, is you can rewind it. I used to do that to Kelly all the time. Because he'd miss something, and I'd drag that slider back and then recap what he missed and let him know about it. And then I'd hit the live on it, and it'd go back to being live again. Southeast of Southport, near Wilmington. Okay, let's take a look at the map. Up here to Wilmington. Oops. It's off this point, isn't it? Yeah, it's the bump out there at Wilmington. Actually, let's do something here. Hang tight. There she is. Right off that point. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it's got this lighter colored from the point past the frying pan. That's all real shallows. Here's a satellite view. I'm looking at Google Maps. Yeah, that's going to get slammed again. Well, that's the shoals. Where's the tower? You know, I don't know. Well, that's the shoals, which is the shallows. Daggone it, ain't giving it to me. Now, I know I searched it on Google Maps before, but it's somewhere out there off that point. Oh, is that what it's called now? Didn't used to be. Ah, the bed and breakfast is inland. Yeah, the bed and breakfast is showing is inland. I'll find it and show it tomorrow. But it's out there on that point. right off Wilmington, so it's going to get nailed. That'll probably be Friday, I think, is when that area is supposed to get hit.
Low 57. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour.
We'll take a look at it tomorrow. I'll play with it later.
At 5 to 10 miles.
We don't want to see no brown bears.
Thursday.
Oh yeah, I want to show you guys this pass. Since it left Bahama. Pass track. And it's not going to show me the line. But you can kind of see there how this thing wobbled after it left Bahama. But you ought to see the line. I mean, the line is like this going up through there. I don't know why it won't show me the line. It won't let me click on it. Yeah, I do. But ain't this cool where this whole thing's been? Look at that. Go ahead and do that track. This still don't show the wobble near as good. I don't know why it wouldn't let me click on the track that one page, but earlier I looked at it and you could really see the wobble. You heard it's going to hit Alabama. Huh. Maybe the next time it comes around, if they don't retire this name, yeah, eventually it might. I don't know what the odds would be. Pretty bad, man. Yeah, hit Alabama. That's a good joke. So anyway, again, if you're just joining me, thank you for joining, by the way. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't done it yet, please hit the follow button so you'll get notifications when I go live again. But I'll show you the latest information as of 11 o'clock. It's a Cat 3. Hey, thank you for the follow. It's Cat 3 now. It's been Cat 2 all day. 115 mile per hour winds, 955 on the pressure, which means that it went down from earlier today. It finally decided to start to turn instead of going north-northwest. It's now going north, but it has slowed down a little bit to 7 miles per hour. That could mean that it's getting ready to make that right turn to go up the coast. We hope. We do not want this thing going straight north and going into Charleston. Can you imagine being in Charleston down in a hole. Yes, this is the voice when you watch Nathan. This is me. Thank you for coming over. But you imagine being in Charleston, sitting down in a hole, more or less, getting 3+ inches per hour. You got a tidal cycle, the high tide coming up here in about an hour, and then you got storm surge. And you pray you can find your life preserver. Yeah, Shannon, thank you for coming over. I'm most of the time the voice that you'll hear with Nathan, and that's because he usually when he goes out and chases, none of the other radar guides are available, and so it's my turn. Okay, Devin. Hey, by the way, before you go, and for all you folks over watching my YouTube stream, as of October 1st, I will no longer be streaming on YouTube. Please come over to Twitch and join the rest of the crowd. And there's a lot of reasons why me and YouTube is going round and round right now. They banned some of my videos, even though one of them wasn't even playing copyrighted music. It was free elevator music, and they banned it. And plus, they deleted over 2 years worth of my live broadcast videos. Over 2 years, they deleted. And I know other people that has 6 or more years of their videos still over there. So I've only got 2 years in my video collection. So me and them's going round and round, and I'm tired of them. So please, if you're on YouTube, please come over to Twitch. Twitch.tv/bgradewx and join the fun. We have a lot more people over here. I typically only have like 2 or 3 on YouTube that gets in the chat. And for years I was thanks Diddle. For years I was a fond believer of YouTube, and that's where I always streamed at. But if they want to start playing games, they change their logarithm to where they determine who gets notifications. That's cool, Michelle. You got the Wobble song stuck in her head. Wow. But they got these new logarithms, and a lot of people on YouTube aren't getting notifications when I go live now, because YouTube decides who gets the notifications and who don't. And if they're going to play those kind of games, screw them. They could ban me if they want to. I don't care. When they banned that one video of a live stream I did a few days ago, and all I was playing was free elevator music. No, I don't want to listen to it, because then it'll be stuck in my head. So people still watching, if you haven't seen it, you just recently joined me, right there on the screen, upper left is the radar off of Charleston. Bottom is the infrared satellite. And you have your current information of a Cat 3 hurricane. I don't think it's going to stay Cat 3. For one, when they start making that turn, they tend to slow down and they tend to weaken. And then after that, it's going to be running in cooler waters, so it's going to slowly weaken. Now the projection is right now is that it'll still be a Cat 2 when it hits Cape Hatteras and the Outer Banks. It still could wobble to the left and hit Charleston, maybe with the outer edge of the eye, which is where the hurricane force winds are. The same way with Myrtle Beach. You don't want no elders to hear. Well, I better not listen to it then. .957, the pressure has went up. Don't want to see that. But that could be a sign, too, that it's getting ready to make that turn. The latest I got coming in for the 2 a.m., which they are doing every hour now. Every hour is like minor ones. But from what I'm seeing, the pressure went up 2 points or 2 millibars. But that could be a sign, not that it's getting weaker per se, but working on making that right turn. Like I said, they tend to start slowing down when they start turning because of the large mass, and plus they'll weaken a little bit. Yeah, Twitch TV's a lot better. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn in. I was going to stream a lot longer, but I really don't have a lot to show you guys. You know, it's dark. I can't show you any good webcams. And it's going to be a while before I can really demonstrate anything. It's going to be a while for some new models. So I might go ahead and shut it down and try to get some rest for tomorrow. Because I tell you what, I definitely will be busy tomorrow on here. So it's going to be a long day tomorrow. So thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the new subs. Go back to studio mode. And appreciate everybody for joining me tonight. I had planned on streaming longer, but there's just not going to be a lot to show you tonight, and there's no sense in being on. But I'm going to rest up the best I can tonight because tomorrow's going to be a long day, and as this thing approaches the coast even closer, which it is, and possible landfall over the next 2 days. So thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time, or should I say, I'll catch you on the next broadcast. Good night.